Mahaprabhu. Yesterday we spoke a little bit on impersonalism on the street and how challenging impersonalism can be for the Sankirtan devotee. And despite this, a Sankirtan devotee should show an ideal character and be honest. And in regards of impersonalism, it's interesting when I reflected a little bit on what we spoke yesterday. There's two, so to say, happenings in my Sankirtan time. We came also to the point that maybe Krishna also wanted to show me, or wants to show us, how hurting impersonalism is. And also the acharyas, they preach very intensely against Mayavadi philosophy. So in the Chaitanya Bhagavata, in the Madhya Lila, chapter 20, there is a very interesting pastime with Murari Gupta, who is actually no one else than Lord Hanuman. And he went to the house of Srivas Pandit, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda would reside and perform their ecstatic kirtan. It's very famous, Srivas Pandit, for this. And when he came there, he immediately offered obeisances, dandavat, flat onto the ground, completely. First to Lord Chaitanya, and then to Lord Nityananda. And he came up to have darshan of the lordships, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would talk to him. He would say, "My dear Murari Gupta, you're a very good devotee, but I did not expect such an offense from you." And Murari Gupta was like puzzled. What has he done? He just offered obeisance. "My dear Lord, what have I done? I only wish to please you." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, no problem. Just go home, sleep one night over it. Tomorrow you will understand everything. So Murari Gupta would go home. He would take rest in the nighttime, and he would have an interesting dream. There in his dream, Nityananda Prabhu appeared. He saw him very beautifully decorated in silk, as is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavata. And suddenly, Nityananda Prabhu got a plow. And he got a whitish complexion. And suddenly, Murari Gupta realized, this is Balaram. So Nityananda Prabhu and Balaram, same personality. And suddenly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Krishna appeared, and told Murari Gupta and whispered into his ear, "You understand now? I am the younger one." Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna is the younger one, Balaram is the elder one. First of all, one should offer obeisances to the elder one. Therefore, it is appropriate to offer first obeisances to Nityananda and then to Lord Chaitanya. That was kind of the message. And Murari Gupta was dreaming like this, and he would wake up and he would shout in ecstasy, "Nityananda, Nityananda!" He was completely ecstatic. And his wife, she was completely confused. What's going on here? And she started also to shout, "Krishna, Krishna, Krishna." You can imagine this transcendental chaotic situation. Krishna, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Haribol. Completely in ecstasy both. And then Srivas Pandit would run again to the house of Srivas Pandit, would offer his obeisances, first to Nityananda, then to Lord Chaitanya. And then he would get up, and then the lordships would talk to him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would talk to him. Very nice. Thank you for coming. Now you have understood. And Gadadhar Pandit, he was also present, and he was standing behind Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would give Murari Gupta as prasadam one of the betel nuts he has chewed. So he gave to Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit gave it to Murari Gupta. Just imagine, directly from the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprasadam. So Murari Gupta, he accepted it. He was, licking it and tasting the nectar, and he was completely ecstatic. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell him, so now go and wash your hands, because after taking prasadam, washing yourself. So Murari Gupta, he would just touch with his hands his head. And suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he changed his mood completely. He changed his mood into a kind of an angry mood. And he told Murari Gupta, what have you done now? You have contaminated yourself by touching your head with your muchi hands. You should have washed your hands. And then he continued to speak in this angry mood. He told him, and there in Benares, there is a sannyasi. Prakashananda Saraswati is his name. And he is talking on Vedanta philosophy, but in an impersonal way. He is preaching Mayavadi philosophy. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, I don't know what I shall do. I already sent him even leprosy. But he still continues, And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, in this way, he is cutting wounds into my body. Like with a knife or with a razor, just imagine you're cutting wounds into the body. So this Mayavadi philosophy and impersonal philosophy is like cutting wounds into the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, what happens when we go out on book distribution, when we preach? The whole world is full of Mayavadis. Every word going on there outside, every breath going on there outside, everything is like a representation of Mayavadi philosophy. God is impersonal, God is energy, God does not exist, and so on, in a somehow or other diverted and hidden way. So therefore, everywhere is Mayavadi philosophy. But when we go out on the street, when we perform Harinam, when we distribute prasadam, and especially when we give such a book into the hand of the people, what is actually happening? It's like Premanjana Churida Bhakti Vilochanena, Sandasa Daivarida Yeshu Vilokayanti, Yam Shyama Sundara Machindya Gunaswarupam, Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Only with eyes which have the ointment of love of God on it, then you can perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead residing in your heart constantly. So by going out on Sankirtan and spreading this Sankirtan mission, preaching, and especially, essentially, by giving people these books, it's like putting ointment on the wounds of the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are put to him by this Mayavadi philosophy. So there is an urgent need. Just imagine, it's like emergency. Emergency, Everything is full of Mayavadi philosophy, and the Gopis, this is like the emergency team, headed by Srimati Radharani. Emergency, we have to spread out, we have to go out and act against this Mayavadi philosophy and give bhakti, Krishna bhakti into the world, and in this way heal the wounds of the Lord. So Sankirtan and engagement in this book distribution especially is the chance for us to become a member in the team of Srimati Radharani. This is wonderful, this is our chance, and we should be very eager to do so. So this is a wonderful pastime, and very much fitting to what we spoke yesterday, because a Sankirtan devotee should have an ideal character and he should be honest. And in regards to this, we spoke yesterday of this exemplary reaction of a very advanced Sankirtan devotee who is actually from Switzerland. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai. And I shared it already in the group. If you did not yet have a look at it, please have a look at it. You can directly go to the position. You don't have even to go through the whole lecture, even though it's highly recommended. And it gives an ideal example of what is the ideal character of a Sankirtan devotee and what honesty means. We can see it there exemplary. We said yesterday, every Sankirtan devotee is expected to have an ideal character and to treat the public respectfully and politely. And honesty, devotees should be always honest also with the public. And we discovered yesterday that this is the wonderful thing when we perform Sankirtan. It's not a way of selling something in a maybe cheating way with tricks and so on. No, it's a completely honest activity. We ourselves will become overwhelmed by the honesty that is revealed by performing this. And we're just an instrument. In other words, it's a really Brahminical activity. It's not a Vaishya activity, selling something. It's a Brahminical activity to spread Krishna consciousness. Book distribution is a Brahminical activity. Yes? Yes, of course, can do so. And could you give me this bag there, please? Thank you. Thank you. And the next point is sadhana. We should have a good sadhana. We also spoke on this yesterday. We are not doing the sadhana in order to get a result from it, that we kind of make a business with Krishna. I do good sadhana, and therefore also my book distributions course will increase. We also said yesterday this is not the right attitude. The right attitude is to always be the giver. In the morning, when we do the Mangalarati, we perform our sadhana. We have the attitude of giving a lot to Krishna. Give a lot to Krishna in the morning, and the more you can give to Krishna in the morning, the more Krishna you will be able to give to the people and during the day. But we are always the giver. So this is a nice attitude. Otherwise, we might have a lot of expectations from the people on the street, a lot of expectations from Krishna, and the best way how to get frustrated in Krishna consciousness is to expect too much from others. If you expect too much from others, from devotees, from the people outside, from wherever, then you will get very easily frustrated. So we don't want to have that. We want to always be in the right mood, and the right mood is always be a servant, always be a giver. Regularly studying Srila Prabhupada's books, of course, very important. We want to become like a sponge. When someone comes and squeezes us, all the nectar of Srila Prabhupada's books come out of us. On the street, when we meet nice people, they ask questions. Immediately the nectar from teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it flows out of us. And this is the nectar which we are looking for, repeating the message of the Guru Parampara given to us especially in Srila Prabhupada's books, and developing a taste for it. We want to read more, we want to hear more, we want to study more. This is very, very important. When we develop this taste, we are really fortunate. So we also want to introduce this now by reading in the evening together a Krishna book here in the temple. If you have time in the evening, 7:30, please join and we can together read one chapter of Krishna book every day, as long as we are here. And of course, who is a Sankirtan devotee? Who of you here is a Sankirtan devotee? One, two. Okay, actually everyone is a Sankirtan devotee. Every member of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is supposed to be a Sankirtan devotee, engaged in the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness. The cooks, the pujaris, everyone should do his seva with this meditation. Let's spread this Hare Krishna movement. Let's give the glories of Krishna to everyone. Everyone might see the wonderful deities decorated in a temple room, and therefore we decorate them very beautiful. Everyone should be able to taste this wonderful prasadam. Therefore we give a lot of effort in cooking the prasadam as good as possible. Of course, for the pleasure of the Lord, but so that others also may taste this wonderful prasadam. So this is the meditation in this regard. It's not like only the book distributors, only those who go out on the street. So we are all a family, and we have the same mission. And the Sankirtan devotee should also not fall into the trap of seeing himself kind of special. Because we are going out and distributing books, we are like special, other different than the others. So no, we should live in harmony with other services. A mature Sankirtan devotee knows the value of every single devotee, and his or her unique contribution, and understands how all services are depending on each other. Now, a bigger topic: what are actually the aims of book distribution? The first point given here is to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's and the Guru Parapara's desire that his books will be distributed in huge quantities. Of course, Srila Prabhupada would say, distribute as many books, or print and distribute as many books in as many languages, distribute throughout the whole world. In this way, this Krishna consciousness movement will automatically increase. So Prabhupada would inspire to distribute more and distribute more. People are actually waiting for these books. They want these books. And this is a wonderful experience we make on Sankirtan also. The honest quality of Sankirtan is that people actually want it. They are looking for Krishna. They want these books. Therefore, in huge quantities, distribute these books. To introduce a larger number of people into the philosophy and practice of Krishna consciousness, in this way offer them a spiritual education and give them the opportunity to be engaged in devotional service. Of course, in this way we want to bring others into the boat of devotional service by engaging them in devotional service. Therefore also we should give up this mentality of, oh no, we should not ask for donations. It's uncomfortable. We should give it for free. Give the books for free, because the love of God or Krishna consciousness should be freely available for everyone. That's true. But still, by asking for a donation and making the people give a donation, we actually do a higher welfare activity. We engage them in the service of Krishna. So advanced Sankirtan devotees, they intensely show this attitude. Intensely. Like once I heard one devotee, we were on the street distributing, and I watched him, and he would not compromise, Actually, I wanted to watch him, how he distributes. It did not happen in the beginning of the day. And then I just accepted it. I said, okay, Krishna, then not. So I was detached. And then I started slowly distributing myself. And then, as it is always, when you are in the mood of accepting the situation and the arrangement of Krishna, in the end comes the nectar. So in the end, when we all wanted to leave, I approached one young student. And I talked to her, and naturally we came into a discussion, and it did not end. And all the others were already waiting until we leave, but I was the only one talking to this student. And suddenly this senior devotee, who I wanted to watch when he's distributing, he didn't want to wait any longer. He just came, he interfered, he overtook the whole conversation. I was just standing nearby and observing the whole thing, He started to talk to the student, what are you studying, how long, and so on. He was completely into it. Wow, how is he talking so naturally with her? He just never saw her. So I just was observing this whole thing, and the nectar was starting to flow, And he continued introducing the book, and he said, usually we sell them, but today it's for donation. Most people give 10. And she was like a student, and she wanted to give 5, And he no compromise, 10, no compromise. And she was like, man, I'm a student. She was like, no, 10 euros. He was just like this, And I was standing there, and I thought, wow, what's happening now? I could not do that. That would be a little bit too heavy for me, I would say just 5 euros is just okay, book distributed, wonderful, Hare Krishna. I said, no, 10 euros, And she would give. She would, with a little pain in her heart, she would give the 10 euros, and he took it, and we would end the discussion in this way, and she would leave with the Bhagavad Gita, giving a nice donation. And this was kind of the nectar in the end of this Sankirtan day, that I began with just accepting, okay, Krishna, then today it's not as I want to have it, but then finally Krishna gave the nectar. That is very, very, very important also for us to understand, to develop this attitude of just accepting the arrangement of Krishna. Not just, it should not run according to my plan. Okay, Krishna, if this is the mood today, I surrender to it. And then when we do this, in the end, somehow there will be the nectar, unexpectedly. So this happened, and this Sankirtan devotee the next day gave a lecture. And as he always does, he refers to things which are happening on the street. And he referred to this happening, and also with this mood of why to get the money from the people, And he is really doing in kind of really uncompromising way. And then he explained, well, these are they're like demons. They are like demons, and they should give, they should give that it hurts. It should hurt. Yeah, that's very good, very good. It's purification, And I mean, this is amazing, This is amazing. This is the service attitude. It's actually our service to make people give a lot. In this way, we serve the people in the best way, because it hurts. Purification is there. They come near to Krishna very fast, and this is very, very. He is not at all doubting in this attitude. If you watch him, if you listen to him, there is no doubt in it. He's completely convinced. He is doing it like this, and it looks very authentic, and I must say it's very inspiring. So this is what we all can work on ourselves to overcome this kind of weakness in our heart. No, it's just for a small donation, please, and don't run away and don't neglect me, just give a small donation. And no, a small donation does not exist. The word small donation is not existing for a Sankirtan devotee, Everyone gives his best. Please stay under 1 million. Most people give 100. Just look what's okay for you. Check it out, I heard amazing things which Sankirtan devotees said, even here in Switzerland. I will not mention here in this situation now, because it's a little bit too intense. We can talk afterwards maybe. But that's the kind of the principle. And let's pause the questions. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, we can do it
later. Let's do it later, yeah. Okay. So engage people in devotional service, yeah. Or in other words, don't let anyone go away without giving them something. Even if they don't take the book, they can give something. Even they can give a no thank you. He gave a thank you. Krishna is so merciful, he accepts it. Okay, nice, that was your service. Thank you, goodbye. So this is our meditation. To get something out of the people as a service to Krishna. The next aim, to propagate the knowledge which is necessary to successfully organize the society so that the needs of everybody, materially and spiritually, can be met. So this philosophy is able to meet the material and spiritual needs of everybody, and if we study them, we understand only this. So there is an urgent need for this philosophy, for this knowledge to be spread, and this is one of the aims of book distribution. And again, to engage people directly in Krishna's devotional service. By giving a donation, they directly perform devotional service to the Lord. So that is our aim. The mood of the gopis is also, no, I go to Krishna, no. Let me see that others go to Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada was once asked, Prabhupada, one devotee said that in the Gurvashtakam, this prayer, Nikunsha Yuno Rati Kelisitya, Yayali Pir Yuktira Pekshaniya, Tatrati Dasyat, thank you. Shri Guru Charana Ravindam. Yeah, this prayer actually, one devotee is preaching, he says that this prayer perfectly fits to the Sankirtan devotees, engaging others in the devotional service, the mood of the gopis. And Prabhupada would confirm and would say, yes, this is the correct understanding, to bring others to Krishna, to engage others in the service of Krishna. In other words, this service of Sankirtan book distribution is completely in the mood of the best of all the devotees, the gopis. To start a devotional exchange between ISKCON and the public. So this is like the front, the front part of the preaching mission. Book distributors are in the front by directly talking to people. And even nowadays, although, we have to say this, the internet, the possibilities of preaching on internet, they are amazing and they open a new field. But still, every time I go out on Sankirtan and distribute book, all the time I must really say, but to be on the street and personally talk to people, still, this is very unique. It's not to be replaced by something else, also not by preaching on internet. It's really, really special. And to me, it gives the impression this will just stay like this the next 10,000 years. So I don't have a doubt in this. And this is what we are looking for. This experienced Sangha devotee I talked about now, he also says why he goes out on the street. A good question, huh? Why someone who knows the Hare Krishna movement for like decades, 30, 40 years, still goes out on the street and distributes books, although he could do so many other things. And he says he goes out because he wants to feel what Prabhupada felt when his preaching in America became successful. Just imagine the troubles Prabhupada underwent. No one helped him, completely alone. Krishna separated him completely from any help. So intense, difficult situation. And then suddenly there came the phase in his life where he experienced now it's getting, their success is coming. It's like the explosion is coming slowly, the Hare Krishna explosion. And he is in the center. How did he feel? How was the connection with Krishna? Unimaginable. We cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. How did Prabhupada feel? But this devotee says, I go out every day on book distribution because I want to feel a little bit how Prabhupada felt at that times. So this sounds like a very good motivation. And of course, we also said yesterday, it's a step-by-step cultivation. First time people say no thank you. Second time they may hold a book in their hand. Third time they may read through it. Fourth time they may be interested more, even take a book, and so on. So we cultivate people step by step. And for those who are already in touch, we go out on book distribution to offer the people information how they can further engage themselves in devotional service by continuing being in contact with ISKCON. Yeah. So, in other words, it's not only about giving a book and everything else doesn't matter. We learn on Sankirtan that we have to have weapons for all kinds of situations. Nowadays, for example, people say, we only have card, I would like to give a donation, but I only have card. No problem, we have a card machine. Here in Switzerland, it's pretty easy with Twint. It's very simple. In other countries, it's not like that. So, but no problem, we have that also. Here's a card machine. What would you like to give, This is, so for every argument, we have kind of a weapon, So there is no escape. There is no reason why you should not take this book. We have for everything a counter-argument, and there is every reason why to take it. So in this way we cultivate people, everyone according to his situation. Mothers with their children, reading books. She's a mother, Of course I see mothers know what stress is, huh? Yes, I know what stress is. So there is a children book, There's a nice children book with paintings and pictures from Krishna. And many times they don't take the Bhagavad Gita, they don't take Science of Self-Realization, but if you show them a children book, yes, that's nice, immediately. Even if they're on the children book, it says Krishna and the killing of the witch Putana. I always, when I show to the mothers this book, it's for me like, heavy. But anyway, that's how it is, Give it honestly as it is. They would look at it, they would read it. Okay, I take it. I'm astonished myself, how it's heavy, but it's working. Hare Krishna. No need to hide anything. And of course, one of the main things why we go out on Sankirtan is our own purification. Maybe this is even the main part, I would say. Mainly we go out for ourselves to become good devotees. It's the best training. My Guru Maharaj uses to say, Sankirtan book distribution is the best training for devotees, for young devotees. So therefore everyone should go out. So we undergo intense purification, and then after that we come very close to Krishna. In a very short time even so that we can say after some time of Sankirtan you could really accept and understand that if I would continue this my whole life, I could really consider it realistic to go back home, back to the spiritual world after this life. And Prabhupada would confirm this also. If you distribute books your whole life, then you get the mercy. Yeah? So it's possible to attain such a position. If it is possible, by which service, how? Sankirtan book distribution gives all the possibilities. And we undergo the purification in this regard. And in a very, very nice and sweet way. Krishna is making the purification very, very sweetly also. That's very nice. It's like chutney. Sankirtan is like chutney, So hot you cannot eat it, but so sweet you cannot resist. Every cook knows this. You know that, isn't it? Adi Keshava Prabhu. Chutney has to be so hot you cannot eat it, but it has to be so sweet you cannot resist. You cannot refuse.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but personally I don't.
Personally, you don't cook like this. Okay. Generally speaking, to create auspicious circumstances in society, it's like a bomb, You feel when you distribute one book, even if it's one book, you feel like you have placed a bomb somewhere and it's ticking, tick, 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 and sometime it will explode, and the influence will be great, and it will be the best influence. And that's how you feel, especially when you start increasing the way how to distribute. You start with small books, Ishopanishad and Science of Self-Realization, and then you start distributing bigger books, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, 1 volume. It's already pretty much a bomb, But then when you start with Srimad Bhagavatam set, going out on the street with Srimad Bhagavatam set, this is like, wow. And it's also possible. It's not impossible. In the beginning we might think how to distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set on the street, person to person. If I meet them for the first time, how should that be possible? And you hear stories from Sankirtan, it is possible. It happens. It was not that this person met the devotees for the first time, but one example in my Sankirtan time was one of these days after the Prabhupada Marathon in January. And I just wanted to continue, and I drove somewhere into a small village in Austria. I was alone. And in the evening I packed the trolley like anything. I have such a huge trolley. 80 Krishna books fit inside, 1 volume, but then it's really full up until like you don't get anything else inside, And I packed it completely, and next day I was so fired up, let's go on the street here and today do the 100 books or something like this, And I chanted my rounds, I did the morning program, and then I looked outside, and it's like a snowstorm, Snowing like anything, like a weather that no one even goes shopping outside, I thought, man, Krishna, I did not expect this today. This is not what I need today, I want to go out. So then I said, okay, anyway, I go anyway out now today. I planned it, so I do it. It's completely unrational, a completely kind of crazy thing, But I did it. I carried this huge trolley somehow through the snow. I stopped in the middle of the center trying to see something, all the snow into your face and everything, And then I started slowly to approach people, and then soon a lady came, and we started talking, and then it turned out, she knows the devotees. She kind of grew up in Krishna consciousness. She even spent some years living in Simhachalam. And wow, this is interesting, And then I talked to her. So you have the Bhagavad Gita, huh? Yeah, of course I have the Bhagavad Gita, everything, And wait a minute, let me show you something. And then we went to the trolley, and I showed her Srimad Bhagavatam first canto I had in the trolley. And she said, no, this I do not yet have. Do you know the Bhagavatam? The Bhagavatam said she kind of knew it, or maybe she did not know it. But then I thought, this is it, Do you have some time? She said, yes, I have some time. So we went to the van. We went back together to the van. She sat in the van. We talked a little bit about her pastimes in Krishna consciousness. And then I started unfolding the whole Bhagavatam in front of her in the van, like first canto, second canto, all the cantos. And I would explain to her, and this one is this, and this one is this. Look, this is Narasimhadev tearing apart Hiranyakashipu. Looks amazing, isn't it? Yeah, Jai, Hiranyakashipu. And then it was very interested, we were talking. And I said to her, I think this is today yours. Today is the day you should take the Bhagavatam set today, And then she was silent for some time. She was thinking. And I said, you know what? I think this is true. I think today I only came here in order to take this. I think I should do it today. And then she went out. She went to her car. She drove her car beside the van, opened the back door, We put the Bhagavatam set from the van into her car. And she just was at the bank to get a little bit more Lakshmi, I have to say. It was quite some, and she held it in your hand, and I looked at it, and I thought, what do you want to do with this now, And she said, I think this should be for you today. And she just gave me all of it, I said, wow, Hare Krishna. It was not only the double BBT, it was even more than the double BBT. Wow, what an experience, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. So, and these things, Haribol, yes. And these things happen. It's possible, and Krishna can arrange everything, and he showed me. And so everything is possible. And it's very inspiring to hear from advanced devotees how to do it, that it's possible, This is experienced Sangha devotee I mentioned. He even puts more on the top of this, He would talk to people on the street, sitting in the car, businessmen, and he would approach them and he would present them the Srimad Bhagavatam. And they would take the Srimad Bhagavatam and he would tell them, you should also take one for your friend. And they, yeah, you're right. And he takes a second Bhagavatam for his friend, and then he would present the Chaitanya Charitamrita set. You also have the Chaitanya Charitamrita? No, you should also take this. Okay, maybe you should also take one for your friend. Like this. Where is the end, But it's possible. It's possible. It's happening like this. And so this is very, very, very nice at this service. Just go over your borders, increase, do something unimaginable. Where everyone else says, this is not possible, take this mission up and do it. If everyone says, Krishna book, 1 volume, distributing on the street, like impossible, difficult, it's possible. I tried. Let me try it. I'm sure there is the special nectar inside, And it happens, In my case, I could experience this. It was very nice, going from festival to festival, distributing Krishna book, and it happens. 20 Krishna books, 30 Krishna book, 37 Krishna books, 40 Krishna books, 50 Krishna books a day. And maybe it's possible to do 100 a day, Yeah, let's try it. And Krishna shows, continue. Go further, do more. Go out of your comfort zone. This is what the Sangha devotee what keeps the Sangha devotee going. Tomorrow, getting up earlier, because I want to do more and more. Automatically, if you go on Sankirtan, you have a better sadhana. Automatically. You don't have to struggle for this, because you want to increase your results. And in order to do this, you want to do a better, you automatically do a better sadhana. So that's the principle behind it. Yeah. to strengthen the consciousness of public that ISKCON is authentic. Hare Krishna. Yes. Also, please, if you did not yet do so, have a look at this video I shared in our group, what means to be authentic and to represent ISKCON as authentic. This lecture gives a very good impression on what it means. That people, they become corrected on the street by the association with the Sankirtan devotee. People think of ISKCON like this. People think of Hare Krishna like this. People think of the devotees in the books like this. But when you meet someone like this on the street and you talk to him and you really do Sankirtan, you glorify Krishna, you talk of the books, when you really come on this platform, there can be a change in the heart of these personalities. And this is such a good feeling, yeah? If you leave a person on the street and you know something in the heart of this person changed now, for sure. And this is a very, very wonderful feeling. So this is one of the aims we want to achieve. And get nourished by this, by ourselves, of course. And where is the end in this? There is also no end, you know. I remember two persons on the street. The one, he was speaking English, and he was asking some questions about the books, and I would talk to him, and he would just look at me. And look at me. I looked at him, and he kind of, in a strange way, looked at me. He looked at me all the time into the eyes, you know. And then I talked in the Bhagavad Gita and talked about it, and then suddenly he was like, "Wow!" And then he was, "Wow!" He was like hypnotized, you know. Like, I thought, man, you know, what is he seeing behind me or something? What's happening? It was like, wow. And it was like, how much? You know, how much? What, for the book? Yeah. How much? Do you have also in German? Like this. And he continued like this. He was completely paralyzed. I don't know what he saw. I don't know what it was. But he was not kind of fooling me or something. He was really kind of fascinated by something. I don't know what. But it was very authentic. It worked. He took it and he gave a donation. And the second personality I remember, she was a lady. And similarly, I would just say the standard sentences. You're from here, from outside. We are distributing books today, yoga, meditation. You know something about stress. Yeah, this is against stress. Just the standard. And I would keep talking. You know, just keep the person in movement. You know, not be silent and so on. Just go on. And I went on and talked. And then suddenly, I realized this lady is bursting out in tears. And she started crying like anything, you know. I thought, oh my God, did there something wrong, you know? I don't know what happened, you know. I don't know, she couldn't say even anything. She just started to cry and cry and cry. It was kind of, something was too heavy for her, you know. And she couldn't even explain herself. And I just calmed down then, you know. But it was in a kind of she was kind of somehow touched by something emotionally, very intensely, you know. And we get this impression from the people that the people they don't know something honest as Krishna consciousness. The people, when we are talking like this to the people, and sometimes the people they check it that we mean it, you know. It's here, it's Krishna here. I'm not just talking about God and here and there, and we mean it. We know who is God, you know. It's Krishna, and here he is, Krishna. And this lady, she gave me the impression, somehow or other, she got the point. You know? Not on an intellectual platform, but somewhere here. And she showed it, and she just started to cry in front of me, you know. And I did not know what to do. I was not in that mood, actually. I was just God as usual. But I didn't understand. I thought, okay, I have to be now sensitive. And then I was sensitive, and she didn't say a lot. She took the book, and she gave also something, and then she walked away without saying something. But something really touched her. You know, she got a really intense impression from this personal exchange. And this is very nourishing for us, isn't it? That we have so much to give, actually. We have such an intense message, and we have Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be given to others through these books. This is Prabhupada's mercy. So this is amazing. Therefore, this is completely authentic. What we do is completely authentic. This is also our aim, to deliver this impression and message. To help creating a stable economical basis in each temple and preaching programs. Of course, when I started with book distribution, people many times would ask me, where do you get money from? I'm living as a monk, we are from the Hare Krishnas. Yeah, that's nice, but standard question in the street, everything is about money. Money, 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 sweeter than honey. This is the motto. And I would think about it, what kind of answer would Prabhupada now give? What did Prabhupada teach me about this? And immediately from the beginning I would tell them, yes, in order to get money we have the books. Prabhupada wrote so many books, and in order to sustain ourselves financially also, mainly, we have the books. At least this is Prabhupada's idea. At least this is actually how I learned about it. And I still have this idea. Still, when it's about earning or getting money, mainly, what do we sell, what do we give to others? We have these valuable books. They have so much value, and they should be distributed and sold as much as possible. Of course, this movement is expanding and expanding. There are a lot of donors. There are devotees who are quite a good situation. They help. So there is no difficulty in that regard. But we continue with book distribution in order to also sustain ourselves financially. This is actually the idea. And in this regard, also interesting to support international projects financially. And this is a very, very nice meditation. Actually, for me it was, that when people give a donation, a tiny bit of this, what people give, actually, in my meditation, it goes to Mayapur, to build this planetarium. To be honest, I want to ask about this, how this is if this is really practically happening. But actually, this actually is the idea, and this is a nice meditation. People coming directly in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and the donation that they give, part of this also goes to the huge temple which is built now in Mayapur. International projects are also supported through book distribution. To establish the understanding that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to liberate the world from the clutches of impersonalism and voidism. Yes, this point we have covered nicely in the beginning with the pastime of the Chaitanya Bhagavata. Impersonalism and voidism. This is Srila Prabhupada's mission, to defeat impersonalism and voidism. Then what are the qualifications of the book distributor? He must follow the 4 regulative principles and chant 16 rounds daily, represent the movement appropriately, cooperate with authorities, have a balanced character, have reached the necessary level of training. So this seminar was compiled by, on one hand, Mangalananda Prabhu. He was a very big Sankirtan devotee in the German Yatra in the 80s, 90s, and also in my beginning of Sankirtan, I was so fortunate enough to travel with him a few months, so to say. And these points are coming from him. So this should be there, to follow the 4 regulative principles, to chant 16 rounds, to represent the movement appropriately, and so on and so on. Now, maybe the most interesting part of the whole seminar will start. The most interesting part for all of us might be so to say, the practical part, as we said yesterday. Prabhu, when a person asks me, is it about religion? What shall I say? Prabhu, when a Christian comes to you, what do you say? This is what devotees mostly ask. What do you say? What shall I say? And this is then the practical part, which we are entering in our next session, beginning from tomorrow evening. Please collect your questions in that regard, everything you would like to know, what you should say, and then we can step by step go through this also. Okay, then we end here for today. I thank you very much for your attendance and wish you a wonderful day on Book Distribution today here in Zurich. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Haribol.